How are you doing this morning? It is time for the Morning Mindset edition of the Live, Build, Change podcast. I want you to stop for a moment and think about the day that's ahead of you. I don't know what you're facing, obviously. I don't know if you have a difficult situation ahead or just another normal day. But whatever it is, know this. The scripture says this is the day that the Lord has made. You see, this is God's creation, difficult or simple. And our responsibility is to accept this day as from His hand. And we are to rejoice and be glad in it. Now, that doesn't mean that every circumstance that happens in this day is going to be an easy one. It doesn't mean that we're to ignore the difficulties or pretend like they're not happening. We can't live in that way, and it would be dishonest to live in that way. But it does mean there is a bigger reality going on than we often perceive. God has created this day for a purpose. Even the difficult things, they're things we are to embrace as from Him and seek to understand what it is He is doing in this day. That's a difficult thing to grasp sometime, isn't it? That these hard things, the most excruciating pains of life, can be from God's hand and be working together for good. I'm telling you, there have been times in my life where that's been very, very hard to swallow. Very difficult for me to accept. But words like I find in Proverbs 15, verse number 3, are what help me to swallow that down and to not just accept it, but to joyfully receive it as a truth that I can bank on. And Proverbs 15:3 says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good." So stop for a moment and let that soak in. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Now, depending how you were raised, in some church traditions, concepts like that are used to keep children in line. I mean, God's watching you. It's kind of this condescending, condemning sort of a thing that if you do wrong, God's going to get you. I don't think that's what the writer of Proverbs is trying to communicate here. What he's trying to say is, God knows what's going on in your situation. He's keeping watch on the evil and the good. And the inference is that He will take care of the good. He will take care of those who are His own. He knows the harm that's being done to them. He knows the evil that is being perpetrated against them. And He is not oblivious to it, and He's not insensitive to it. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. Nothing escapes His notice. And so we can take comfort in those things, that even these difficult things that we experience in life are things God, in His good time, is going to rectify. He is going to set everything right. And when you think about that, I just want to encourage you to let that go deep. Don't let it just stay on the surface and be this concept that's in your head. Let it travel that distance from your head to your heart to sink in and to give you assurance that your good God, your Father in heaven, is not oblivious to what's going on in your life, even if it's hard right now. And He will set things right. You can trust Him. You can count on His wise and good character to care for you in the midst of the circumstance in which you find yourself. Rest in Him. Call on Him. Trust Him in this. And let that reality give you the comfort that you need right now, that you are not alone. The God of all creation is not only with you, He is on your side. Join me again tomorrow as we dive into more of the wisdom of the book of Proverbs, right here on the Live, Build, Change Morning Mindset podcast.